At 8:40 a.m. on February 8, 1986, a massive freight train and a passenger service collided head-on at a combined speed of 108 miles per hour in the mountains of Western Canada. The impact destroyed the lead locomotives instantly. Ruptured fuel tanks ignited a fireball that engulfed the front of the wreckage, throwing passenger coaches from the tracks and crushing them beneath piled-up freight cars. 23 people were killed in what remains the country's deadliest rail disaster in decades. When a disaster of this scale occurs, investigators search the wreckage for a catastrophic mechanical failure. They look for snapped brake lines, a shattered track switch, or a blown signal light, the clear physical reasons why two massive trains ended up on the same section of track. But the inquiry into the Hinton collision uncovered a chilling anomaly. Track testing proved the rail switches worked perfectly. The signaling system displayed all the correct colors. Toxicology reports on the crews came back clean. Nothing in the mechanical world had broken down. The Hinton disaster grew out of a collapse of a human environment, known as railroader culture. To understand how this happened, we have to look at the train itself. Canadian National Freight Train 413 was a staggering 6,000 feet long, consisting of 115 heavy freight cars hauling grain, sulfur, and industrial chemicals as it traveled westward from Edson toward Jasper. Train 413 approached Dalehurst, where double tracks merged to a single line. Protocol required it to stop for the eastbound passenger train. Miles prior, an approach signal displayed yellow over red, a direct order to slow to 30 miles per hour and prepare to stop. Instead of slowing down, the freight train blew past the warning signal at 59 miles per hour and continued to accelerate. Upon reaching the end of the double track, the train ignored a solid red stop signal and violently forced its way through the physical track switch, destroying the points as it entered the occupied single line. Engineering a flawless warning system is ineffective if the human operator fails to process the information it provides. But how is a multi-ton freight train allowed to speed through a red light without the automatic emergency brakes engaging? Inside the locomotive cab, a secondary failsafe called the dead man's pedal requires the engineer to keep constant foot pressure on a pedal to prevent the emergency brakes from automatically engaging. If they fall asleep, their foot slips off and the brakes apply. Engineer Jack Hudson suffered from advanced type 2 diabetes and heart conditions, and investigators concluded that the front crew had most likely fallen asleep. Yet the brakes never activated. Inquiries revealed that engineers, seeking comfort on long trips, would often disable the pedal by resting heavy objects on top of it, keeping the mechanism pressed down while they slept. Even with the front crew incapacitated and the pedal neutralized, a third line of defense remained. Thousands of feet behind the lead locomotive, at the very rear of the train, was the conductor, Wayne Smith. If a train missed signals or radio communication failed, emergency protocol required the conductor to pull the emergency brake from the caboose. Smith never pulled the brake. During hearings, he claimed he had desperately tried to radio the front crew, but other crews on the same frequency testified they never heard a single transmission. The inquiry dismissed his testimony, suggesting that this final human redundancy had also fallen asleep. A culture of rule-bending and complacency effectively neutralized the safety net, isolating the front crew and silencing the final line of defense at the back of the train. By the time Train 413 broke the track switch, it was operating entirely without control. With the signals ignored, the pedal bypassed, and the conductor inactive, it had become a 6,000-foot ghost ship. For 19 seconds of visual contact, the two trains hurled toward each other. Despite the clear view of the impending collision, neither applied the brakes. The government inquiry officially listed crew fatigue and human failure as the ultimate causes of the disaster. Technological safety systems are ultimately defenseless against a culture that normalizes risk and allows complacency to override its own failsafes.